These young people are about their Father's business. And they are carving a tunnel of hope through the great mountain of despair. And they will bring to this nation a newness and a genuine quality and an idealism that it so desperately needs.
Do me a favor, just shake both your neighbors and tell them it's already done. That's the wrong neighbor. Find another neighbor, tell them it's already done. Thank you, Biggie Smalls. Biggie said, I ain't got to wait. Biggie said, I had a dream, and everybody laughed at me, but once I stepped into reality, I was able to look back and say it was all a dream. 35 and older, you missed that right there. Biggie said, this goes out to the school teachers that didn't like me, the folk in the neighborhood who talked about me. Well, let me flip this, Biggie. This next praise goes out to everybody who slept on me, everybody who saw you struggle. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper, Heavy D up in the limousine, hanging pictures on the wall every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic. I'm sorry. But thank you, Biggie. Let me remix my verse. You never thought God would take it this far. Now I'm in the limelight because I live right. Time to get paid. Blow up like the... Can I preach to 50 people who know it's your season to blow up? That God got for you what eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. You ought to... Ooh. What you doing, PMJ? Y'all better go and take a picture of me. Because what I look like now, I'm not going to look like in a couple months. What you driving now, you ain't going to be driving in a couple months. You ought to look down your road and say, my dream is get ready to manifest. Woo! 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 I dare every dreamer. You can't scream at work, you can't scream at home, you can't scream at your job. Open up your mouth and holler. All right, this is Dr. King Weekend. Maybe I should tell you that in 1929, Dr. King was born Michael King Jr. Did you know that he was not Martin Luther King? He was born Michael King Jr. At the age of 5, Dr. King's father talked to his mother and discovered that his mother originally called him Martin, but for 5 years had started calling him Michael. So at the age of 5, Dr. King's father changed both of their names from Michael King to Martin Luther King. Did you know? So for 5 years, he was living under another name. So for 5 years in obscurity, he was being prepared for popularity. You missed that. So in 1929, he was born. Did you know that in 1948, as a young man, he graduated from Morehouse College, one of 11 black students that went to Crozer Theological Seminary. He was the class president and the valedictorian. Did you know that in 1959, he graduated from Boston University with his doctorate in systematic theology? He had 1955. Did you know? In 57, he became the president of the SCLC. In 63, 4 little girls died in a bomb. 4 little girls died in a bomb so he could stand on some steps and tell the country like Moses told Pharaoh, let my people... Did you know in 1964 he won the Nobel Peace Prize? And when he won the Nobel Peace Prize, he won $55,000. The media asked him, what are you going to do with that money? He donated every penny of the money back to the civil rights movement. And I started tripping because everybody's always hating. Like, why does church do so much? They always giving some away and blessing folk and doing stuff. They don't realize what you make happen for others. Did you know the night before the I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King's advisor, Wyatt Walker, that's him right there. That's the night before the I Have a Dream speech. Wyatt Walker, his advisor, turned to Dr. King and said, don't put that I Have a Dream stuff in this speech. This is too big of a moment to be cliche. Don't put that middle small stuff in there. Don't be apropos to all these other cliche preachers who finna be up here talking about I have a dream. His advisor looked him over and said, I'm gonna take this out the note. Dr. King listened to his advisors, took I Have a Dream out the speech. There's only one problem. While he was up there talking, Mahalia Jackson, who's sitting right there, looked at Dr. King and said, tell him about the dream, Martin. And out of nowhere, Martin just started talking about his dream. I feel like you about to give the devil a nervous breakdown. Cause tell your neighbor, I wasn't even gonna shout till my neighbor told me, go on, do what you do. Cause I was gonna sit here and be quiet. But my neighbor looked me up and down and said, God been too good to you. Don't praise him then. I wish I had somebody at the second service who could be a witness to somebody on the other side and say, go on, shout then. Go on, dance then. Go on, praise then. Lift your hands. Ooh, yeah. He said, I wasn't gonna do it. Did you know that King didn't even come up with the let freedom ring part? When he said, let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York, he didn't even write that. But Dr. King had a mentor named Reverend Archibald Carey who gave the same speech in 1952. And that's why I was tripping the other day, because so many people hate on me because I look so much like my spiritual father. If Dr. Vernon do something, Mike do it. If Dr. Vernon do something, Mike do it. If Dr. Vernon doing vines, Mike do vines. If Dr. Vernon preach a sermon, Mike preach a sermon. And I thought about it. Everybody who hating on the fact that I look like my daddy don't have nothing. Yeah. And last time I checked, it's all right to be a copycat if you got the right cat to copy. Yeah. That's why let all your co-workers and your broke family members talk about me all they want to. Tell them if God bless my pastor, he gonna bless me. If God open a door for my pastor, he gonna open one for me. You can talk about the rock all you want to, but since I've been coming, my life has been better. I don't cuss as much, I don't drink it. Did you know, I'm almost done, did you know that the head of FBI's Domestic Intelligence Division, that's William Sullivan on the screen, wrote a memo in the paper nationally 2 days after the speech. He said, after the I Have a Dream speech, Dr. King has officially become the most dangerous Negro of the future. I'm sorry, but I should have worn my Timbs today because I feel like shouting. You hear me? Because it's one thing to have a dream, but you become a threat when you are a dreamer with favor. Woo. Help me, God. Look at somebody on your road. Tell them you can't shout right here because you don't have the level of favor that I have. Tell them, but I have an incredible dream with some incredible favor. And God's about to make my favor and my dream collide in 2014. Woo, shucks. Good evening, y'all. I got to get out of here. But I told you about Joseph's dream. I told you about King's dream. But I never told you about my dream. So this morning, I have a dream that the city that was known as the place of reconciliation and change will once again stand up and make America go back to what God called it to be there for its sick, indigent, and poor. I have a dream that violence will be eradicated. Everyone in debt will be emancipated. Those who are degraded, frustrated, and irritated will be liberated and celebrated. Oh, shucks. I have a dream that dreams will be realized, hopes will be idealized, fears will be paralyzed, doubts will be sterilized, sinners will be baptized, critics will be chastised, criticism will be demised, your haters gonna be mesmerized. Debt will be downsized, your future will be revised, God will be glorified. So you ought to praise God